took my old overalls from the storage. And I have to tell you, it's a bit tight, I tell you.
A little snugger than you remember.
Oh my God, I tell you, I think when I was racing Formula One, I was about 68 kilos. And now a little bit heavier.
Just a little bit. Well, that's all right. You know, have you ever had a chance to drive this car before, that M23 from 1974?
Actually, I did have a chance in Silverstone. Was a few years ago, and a great experience. But I did this run in Silverstone. But I have to admit, this track it's fun, really enjoyable, and with this car to drive a track like this, it is amazing. Silverstone, of course, is a great circuit, a great history, but it's very flat. And what is great here is it goes up and down, and some corners has a lot of camber in it, and it's just it's great feeling. And the car like this, which is 1974, suspension is much softer, so to ride these kind of camber changes are great. If you would use the current Formula One car circuit like this, you would be a lot of time in three wheels because the movement what they have in a suspension is so small.
They're so stiff now, yeah. Now, talk about the big differences between that 74 McLaren and the McLarens that you drove in your championships in 1998 and 1999. There's a 20-year span, a lot of changes to the cars.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very simple that way. The materials just getting better. They're getting stronger, they're getting lighter. And the engineers, the teams, the mechanics, they collect a lot of data which enables them to develop the car much better. Gear changes, they are becoming very much automatic, so they're very fast. Everywhere where you can lose time with the racing car on the track, all these areas try to be minimized all the time. Is it the suspension movement, tire movement, gear changes, throttle response? Just name it, everything where you can lose time, they try to reduce, and when you do that, you need to improve the materials, you need to have a new technology, new calculations. But the only thing what if you go back in time, like my time, the drivers were fantastic, I tell you. It was so good.
Now, you say you really enjoyed driving this track with the car, and you talked about how it would be in a current Formula One car with a much stiffer tub and suspension. What about German touring cars? You went to German touring cars after you left Formula One. How would you like to see them run here at Mazda Raceway Laguna, and would you like to drive one?
Yeah, I don't see any problem. I think this track again is not only for spectators, and I can see there's plenty of space here for the teams. The race at the track itself, I think it would be a great challenge, and it will look very spectacular. So no problem. Just a long way to come from Germany to here.
Well, you've only had a few laps around the track. What particular feature fascinates you the most? Is it the descent from the corkscrew? It drops about 4 stories as you crest the hill up there and drop down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, what fascinates me is these differences. You go really deep hill and downhill, and you have some breaking points where you need to really use the talent because the corner itself from the distances looks tighter what it is really. So you need a lot of guts to brake really late and to take a right line, and also what I like here is the curbs. They are not too high, so you can use the whole track, and currently when they build the racetracks, the curbs are very aggressive, which is what I understand, but it damaging the cars a lot, and it limiting the driver to find the ultimate performance. So I like the curbs here. You need to also feel when you're driving a car that way. You can put the car on a limit and go on the curbs. If exit there's a very high curb, it's not fun. You break the car, it hurts, doesn't look good. So it's good here.
Well, I noticed that as you completed more laps, you seem to be getting a little more comfortable with the car, and your speeds up the start-finish straightaway started climbing. Do you feel a little better and you're going to go a little quicker later this afternoon when you're back out for a few more laps?
Yeah, definitely.
How much quicker?
Well, you can imagine the car is from 1974, so you need to respect that time. Anyway, the McLaren mechanics, the team has done a great job. The car is restored flat out. It has quite a new parts in it, so it's good. But still have to take it a bit careful. But to be a racing driver is difficult. Take it easy.
I think it'd be more difficult to drive than the newer cars because you've got the gearbox and everything else involved. It's much simpler in some ways, but possibly a little more difficult.
Oh, it's difficult in quite a few sense because you need to do much more movement in your body. You know, yeah, you need to move much more in this car with your legs, with your hands, compared to current Formula One car. And of course, this car, you know, your arms are very straight when you're holding a steering wheel. So the effort to try to turn the steering is very difficult. And sure, there is no power steering, but it's good fun. You know, it's great.
Good fun to drive the car around. Do you miss Formula One at all?
No, but no, I don't miss it. I don't miss the driving too much. Well, a little bit, but not too much. If you are in position to race in Formula One, the life is very difficult. You have to really commit your full life for that sport, and it takes time for 7 days a week, and it's really hard, and only one can win. So it's difficult.
Yeah,
But
it is a full-time commitment. It takes up all your time. You don't have time to even think or do anything. Your time is micromanaged by everyone. You're handled.
Yeah.
So many demands upon your time. It's almost impossible. Probably a relief to finally get away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still involved in Formula One. I'm in a team of managing Valtteri Bottas, who is racing for Mercedes. I'm the brand ambassador for many companies, and I'm very proud to be a brand ambassador for McLaren, Automotive, and Formula One. And many great companies. So I'm involved with the Formula One. But of course, if you talk about if do I miss to be a driver in Formula One, there's a great salary, guys, I tell you.
And it's a special life with a lot of perks too. But glad to see you're still involved with your companies and working with other manufacturers. So you're staying in, but on your own terms.
Yes.
Have any questions for Mr. Hakkinen? Yes. I think he said, how do you feel this circuit would work as a current F1 track?
Well, it's a little bit too short. I think it would be twice as long, but the same design, I think would be amazing. I think that every Formula One driver would say, wow, they would love it, there's no doubt about it. It just needs to be a little bit longer. Yeah, there is one story in Formula One. This happened in '92, so quite a few years ago. I was Sunday morning, I was going to British Grand Prix, and there was a warm-up happening, like, was it 9:30 or something? And I woke up in a hotel, and I missed my wake-up call. So Silverstone, when you go from the hotel, I had something like 5 miles to go to the track, and normally there's a massive traffic jam. So I was stuck in the traffic, and I realized that way, you know, I gonna miss the warm-up, you know, and I saw the policeman standing there, and I asked very politely, can I drive the wrong side of the road, just going slowly, because I'm going to Grand Prix and I'm racing, and can I just go slowly? And I said, okay, you can do that, but slowly. So that's what I did. I went slowly, hazard lights on, and suddenly, after 1 mile, I saw in my mirror that way there's 2 police motorbikes with the lights on. I said, this is good, I'm getting escort. So I put my foot down and heading to heading to the racetrack, and before I entered the gate, the police, of course, is standing there like this, and I stopped and opened a window and said, have you been drinking? I said, I'm not, I'm just going to the Grand Prix. No way I'm going to be drinking. And I say my name, Mika Hakkinen, and I'm coming to Grand Prix, and said, I don't care, even you're Nigel Mansell. And they took me out of the car, put my hands on the bonnet. They arrested me, took me in a jail of the racetrack, and there I was sitting, and thinking, what's going on here? And they were taking my passport away, and I tried to explain. It's Sunday morning, warm-up is happening. I'm driving with the Team Lotus that time, and I said, you're not going anywhere. And luckily they somehow managed to get me out of there, and I finished that Grand Prix, I think 5th or 6th, but it was a great result that time with Team Lotus, and that was an experience, So there is quite a few stories like that, but we have time this weekend.